and the green is out. Already 150 miles an hour, and here is Brody Gunter. It is 3 wide for the lead. Through oval turn 3, down the back straightaway.
And here come the GT4 class as well. Oh, there's some contact there in the GT4 class.
Into
Batista.
oval 2. Oh my gosh, they're still 3 wide for the lead. This is not going to work.
Big contact.
Ryan Pauly. 3 wide for the first 2 rows, Indianapolis style. Gunter and Sanders clear of Engrave. The battling continues as we get ready for Variante.
Oh, wow. Nearly trouble there in the GT4 class as well. This is insanity.
JJ Wang with the advantage into Variante for the GT4s. Here is the slowdown for the GT3s.
Oh.
Is everyone going to make it? From 170 plus down to 35 miles an hour. Oh, problems for Jarrell Williams, I do believe. He has gone at least off, if not around. Nick Batista. Now Bonomi, Brian Deese off into the sand. So major problems out of Variante into Curva Grande.
Mike Pepper off as well. Oh, there goes one through that
Schlosser,
first
I think.
S turn, if whatever you're going to call it. And yes, you're right. That is Schlosser.
So he has served his slowdown here. That will move him back a couple of positions. Gavin Sanders dipped the tires off there. So did Hunter Engrave, but Sanders continues to lead here. It is work. They have halved the deficit through just 1 and 2 alone.
And not only that, they have gapped.
Oh! Contact Gunter into the wall there as he tries to make the move. Sanders defending. And the battle is back on here into Variante. Engrave has got to check up in time not to pile into the back of Brody Gunter. Gunter's still trying to make the move and complete it. And will. Incredible. We talked about aggression, partner. We got it.
Garcia's pulled back up with the draft, had lost about 0.7 of a second, but with the draft is able to now retake the lead again. Oh, JJ tries to pull out, but brushes up against the outside wall. Garcia takes the lead in the GT4 class. We'll go back to Sanders and Engrave here.
Here's Ascari. Sanders curbed! Loose! Here goes Engrave through to the lead! Too much curve into Ascari, and Gavin Sanders has ceded the top spot to Hunter Engrave as they head to Parabolica. He was second fiddle all race long, but through the final turn of the circuit, Hunter Engrave is going to round Parabolica and take his 3rd checkered flag of the season, this time doing it at Monza. Incredible. Rene Garcia exits Parabolica and will take his 2nd victory of the season here with the ASRL Sports Car Championship. Pepper with the hole shot. Everybody leaving the top here, going underneath the yellow line right away. Rickson hung out up top. Good start for Nick Batista in the GT4s. He and Corey Rutherford have got a pretty clean getaway, but look at this mess in the GT3s.
Yeah, everybody kind of.
Oh,
big
crash!
there.
I think that's Darrell Klotz. And Fred Thompson in it as well.
Gavin Sanders is slow back here as well.
Yes.
I'm not sure where he was. He was actually way behind that crash. So
started from the pits. That was problems!
No!
That is going to be a huge problem. 2, 3, 4 cars. I'd It's not blocked the track yet, but that is precarious to say the least.
Oh, wow. Wang has to make a huge evasive maneuver.
Oh, more problems into Variante. 2 or 3 cars around, including the race leader, Mike Pepper. Brian Deese has now assumed the top spot.
Yeah, Pepper ended up... Oh, no, and big problems here in the GT4 class as well. There was big contact.
This is J.J. Wang now, back up, battling for the lead here. And Rene Garcia as well.
Big contact between Rutherford Garcia and J.J. Wang.
Rick Thompson problems into the second chicane.
Oh, boy, now GT3 drivers trying to get through. Oh, this is an absolute mess. Sanders gets into it with Garcia there. Now works around Wang.
J.J. Wang and Rene Garcia, once again, back to being side-by-side. Corey Rutherford must have had a problem. He has dropped way off of this battle.
Garcia just does a really good job of getting positioning into Variante there.
Deese back to second. Here is Engrave within spitting distance. Engrave going to look to driver's left here. Deese going to stay tucked in behind Matt Schlosser.
Yeah, Engrave doesn't waste any time looking to make a move here.
Deese arcs it into the turn. Wow, what a crossover attempt there from Hunter Engrave. Has got the positioning to the inside of Schlosser.
Wow, that was an unbelievable move from Engrave and has now cleared Schlosser.
That was the southpaw jab into the right-hand hook, and Engrave gets a 2-for-1 special into Variante and takes the top spot back over. Zeros up on the board. 6 miles to go. It's all Hunter Engrave up front. As Josh Hagee, you called it. 1 lap short on fuel. Hit pit road this time. So it is now Matt Schlosser in second. And Hunter Engrave can walk this one home. No contest. All eyes on the GT4 battle.
Wang trying to break the draft a bit. Garcia's going to take it on the outside. Wow, that was a quick move. Both of them running the apron here. Wang, we've seen it all night. He's going to pull it to the outside. Oh!
It's over.
No, more contact.
Wang goes around. We'll get it pointed back in the right direction. Will not lose the second position. But Rene Garcia going to drive away.
Garcia on the inside. This is into Variante. And Wang slows down, looking for a crossover move. And Garcia overdrives it a little bit, gets onto the turtle, and then Wang feels like he has that corner made where Garcia was not going to be able to maybe continue that quickly.
What a fantastic drive through the field in the feature for Hunter Engrave. One more time around Parabolica. He got his 3rd win of the season earlier tonight, and now will sweep Monza combined. Hunter Engrave with his 4th win of the season with the ASRL Sports Car Championship. And Rene Garcia sweeps the night for the GT4s. Garcia, with contact on the final lap, will take the win. J.J. Wang in second. Gosh, it feels like it's been absolutely forever, but it's been 2 off weeks since Monza, and now we're back to more of the same. It's an oval road course combination, a little bit more of a traditional one in the Roval sense this time around, as we find ourselves just outside of Barbecue Land, Kansas City. On the Kansas side of the border, that is, where we will get ready for There's No Place Like Home Night Race at Kansas, presented by Lone Dutchman Racing. It's week number 8 of the third season of sports car competition for the ASRL Sports Car Championship, and it's right here on Turn 200. My name is Tommy Cook, the one and only the GOAT. Matt Williamson is on his way. He's just licking all the barbecue sauce off his fingers before he sits down to punch the buttons for you here tonight. And speaking of punching buttons, let's take a look at the point standings for both classes here. First, we'll start with the GT4 side of things, as Jarrell Williams doubled his points lead over Ken Eastep after Monza, and that is to say he was leading by 1 point, and now he's leading by 2 points. Dalton Kilrow was the points leader heading into New Jersey a couple of races ago, but has missed the last 2 weeks of competition, so he is back in 5th with some work to do if he wants to climb his way back to the top. On the GT3 side of things, the reigning champion, Brody Gunter, has things well in hand at the current moment. Johnny Alford and Josh Heggie have a spirited battle going for 2nd, same for Mike Pepper and Kevin Bonomi in 4th and 5th. You may be wondering, where is Hunter Engrave after his 2 victories at Monza combined with his 3rd victory of the season at New Jersey Motorsports Park 2 races ago? Well, Hunter switched cars ahead of Monza to get one that was more friendly for the Monza combined layout. So with a switch of the car, which was not authorized, Hunter Engrave only received half points for his 2 victories, so he is still outside of the top 5 in the point standings. And speaking of Monza, you just saw the highlights. You just saw how crazy that race was if you weren't watching it live. It was one of the craziest nights of racing we've ever had here on the channel. It was insane. But out of that craziness, we actually did have quite a few people qualify themselves in for the MF Racing Design 0-0 Challenge Pot. Brody Gunter and Kevin Bonomi in the 20-minute dash, as well as Johnny Alford in both races. Bags is absolutely racking and stacking the MF Racing Design 0-0 Challenge entries. That is his 5th of the season. So Johnny Alford looking to do much of the same again here tonight. Some of you may be sitting there thinking, I did not know that Kansas Speedway had an infield road course. And yes, they sure do. I do believe it held one IMSA GT race. It's a very simple layout, but it's one that lends itself to great racing no matter what you are putting on that track. And I think we're in for more of the same of that here tonight. 60 minutes of green flag racing, a 20-minute dash, and a 40-minute feature is on the way, as there's no place like home. The Kansas Night Race for the ASRL Sports Car Championship is around the turn on Turn 200.
A blind night that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Not open here now. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
station. Welcome to Kansas Speedway. It's under the lights, as it should be here. I guess under the lights is more of an oval thing, but we're running the infield road course here. It's only 6 turns is what's printed on the cheat sheet here. There's a couple more than that, though, in all reality. 2.37 miles here. It's our first look at the Kansas infield road course here on turn 200. Matt Williamson, what are your first impressions here of this simple but unique venue?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, it's simple, only a few turns, but it's interesting. It's not much like anything we've really been to this season, or really on the channel in general. They get to do almost the entire full oval here, but have to slow it way down while they're already into turn 1, the oval turn 1, that is, and do a few turns here and then go back out onto the oval. It creates a lot of passing opportunities, especially down to that first turn and around the hairpin in the middle of those that tight section as well. So it's simple, but still a lot going on here.
What is one of the more unique aspects of this race has nothing to do with the track here tonight, but it has the fact to do with that this is the closest that we've gotten to an equal field between the GT3s and the GT4s. There's 13 GT3s, 11 GT4s here tonight. It's close to an equal number as we've had here all season. Only a few more races to go for this third season of ASRL competition. It's tonight here at the Kansas Road Course. Next week will be at the classic layout at Lime Rock Park, which I will not be here for. We'll have an all-star substitute, though, to go with Matt Williamson. It'll perchance be the Matt and Matt show next Wednesday night with Matt Houston. Hopefully is stepping in. It sounds like he's on board, so we'll look forward to that. And then the season finale will be at the Nürburgring. But speaking of season finales, this is the penultimate night of racing, at least on paper, for the Turn 200 Championship in 2023. We have the Maximum Velocity Racing League in the trucks tomorrow night for their championship Thursday nights. And then, I guess, you know what, some details to hammer out still. But we'll go ahead and announce that we will be having a big blowout season-ending bash before the championship season-ending bash in 2 weeks. This Friday, we will be doing some meme racing live on the channel, hosted sessions available for all, and we'll hope that you'll partake, including the return of the world-famous Bristol Bash back on Friday nights, and Matt Williamson Motor Mayhem as well. Cars in both races to be determined and announced. But if you don't have plans on Friday, make plans to be here with us, because we are going to be doing some meme racing.
Yeah, that's kind of getting back to our old roots there before the Turn 200 Championship. A good way to kind of wind down the end of the Turn 200 season right before that championship race, like you said, here in a couple weeks, and send everybody home with a bang and let them get a few extra points in there before the championship race.
I tell you what, the channel championship points, not just on the bubble, but up top. Right now, Nathan Reynolds is fending off Gavin Sanders, and it's literally going to come down to a couple points. especially if they both participate on Friday night. It is a tight race up top to see who is going to be the first channel champion. So exciting stuff. And exciting stuff here tonight with ASRL, the Sports Car Championship. It is rounds number 15 and 16 of 20 here tonight. We'll start things off, as always, with the 20-minute dash. And with the pole here tonight, he swept Monza. He also got a win at New Jersey Motorsports Park. Right before that, Hunter Engrave is rocking and rolling. He takes the quick time here under the lights at Kansas Speedway. The reigning series champion, current points leader, Brody Gunter, on the front row with him. Gavin Sanders will be starting in third. Kevin Bonomi rounds out row number 2. Johnny Alford has been the cleanest driver statistically here this season, and he's second in the GT3 points. He lines up in fifth. The man he's battling for second with is Josh Hagee. He starts in sixth. Matt Schlosser, podium finisher last week at Monza. He will line up in seventh. Eric Coons to his downside inning. Joshua Rutherford has some confidence headed into tonight. He will line up on the inside of row number 5 with Jeffrey Oaks rounding out your top 10 starters. Then it is Dave Payton, Alex Allen, and Casey Campbell. The rest of the GT3 lineup. GT4s are led off here by Jarrell Williams, the current points leader. In the division, J.J. Wang, 2 second-place finishes out of Monza. He wants to do one better here tonight. He will start on the outside of the front row. Corey Rutherford and Rick Thompson, who has switched now down to the GT4s. He lines up next to Corey on row number 2. Rene Garcia swept Monza. Rene will start in 5th. Phillip VanVleet is here for the first time here tonight. The owner of Lone Dutchman Racing will start in 6th. Nick Batista, Kenny Stepp, Nate Morris, Fred Thompson, and Daryl Klotz. The rest of the starting lineup here tonight for the GT4s. 20-minute dash, Matt Williamson. It's oval racing, Roval style. What are we expecting here for the drivers of ASRL?
Well, it's a night race. Looking at the track temperatures, no surprise to see it quite low, 68 degrees on the track temperature. That is quite low, actually. Yes, that is territory where you're really going to want to watch your tires on those first couple laps. They are going to be mighty cold. Headed down into turn 1, that could be quite interesting. That's something to keep your eye on. Fuel capacity is at 46% for both classes here, which is about 25 laps of fuel around here. They have one extra set of tires, one faster pair. Should not need a caution unless there is a mighty big crash. The penalties, it's a 14x pass-through penalty and a 19x disqualification. This first race is going to be 20 minutes, should be about 16 laps or so, and then we'll get to the feature after that, expecting about 30 laps from the feature race here tonight.
Well, it feels like it's been forever. This is the 3rd week since the Monza race, so 2 off weeks between then and now. Happy to see everybody back. Give us a shout in the chat. Let us know who's hanging out with us, who we're rooting for, who we need to keep an eye on, who you think is going to walk away with the dash race here at Kansas for both classes. As it has been hard to compete of late with Hunter Engrave. He has been a man on a mission. Again, scored half points at Monza based on his car choice. He is using that car, I believe, again here tonight. So I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work. But regardless, he may not be in it for points at this point. I think he just wants to win, and he's been doing quite a lot of it of late. Brody Gunter has been winning a lot and doing really well on Tuesday nights, but it feels like it's been a while since we've seen Brody Gunter on the top step here in the GT3s, despite the fact that he's the points leader. Gavin Sanders has had some pretty horrendous luck of late here in ASRL competition. He will line up at 3rd, next to Kevin Bonomi. We got a Gavin for the win in the chat. Jarrell Williams finally got over the hump, got that first win after 7 consecutive second-place finishes. Monza did not go well for him. He's looking to get more opportunities to finish on the top step here tonight. So is J.J. Wang. How is it all going to play out? 20 minutes. We'll begin here at the drop of the green. We are underway under the lights at Kansas for the ASRL Sports Car Championship, barreling down towards the end of the grass here. The drivers will start to make their way left. 3 wide, a big dive here to the inside from Gavin Sanders. A big contact there. Brody Gunter into the side of Hunter Engrave, who is now swung into the inside of Gavin Sanders. Battling side by side for first, and spin! Around goes Eric Coons.
Wow, lots of action early on here.
That was actually not Eric Coons. That was...
I think it was Josh Hagee.
Josh Hagee, yes. That was Josh Hagee. He has brought it back in the middle of the battle for the GT4s. Right now, J.J. Wang has the top spot. For the GT4s, Jarrell Williams from the pole has dropped all the way back to 4th. As Gavin Sanders from 3rd leading the way, Brody Gunter, Hunter Engrave. The apron is inbounds. You're going to see the drivers probably using the apron here at some point during this race. That is inbounds all the way around the oval portion of this track.
Yeah, you're really going to see it on the entry into the corners, because coming off of the oval down into turn 1, it can be a jolt when you come off the banked oval.
Top 3 nose to tail. Sanders leading Gunter and Engrave. After a contentious opening lap, J.J. Wang, Jarrell Williams, and Corey Rutherford, your top 3 in the GT4s.
Behind them, Bonomi's gotten around Johnny Alford. Now Alford and Matt Schlosser are battling. Alfred sticks to that spot for right now. That is for 5th.
Pamela Engrave in the chat, written on Hunter. Hunter chilling in 3rd right now, but a steady line of cars behind him. Some contact, it sounds like, between Rick Thompson and Nick Batista. And Thompson has moved up to 5th, it looks like. Or rather, moved back to 5th, as Nick Batista has moved up to 4th.
And those two continue to battle. Phillip VanVleet's right here with them as well. Another shout out to Lone Dutchman Racing for sponsoring, and one of the sponsors of the series.
Jarrell Williams pulled up to J.J. Wang here, but J.J. snaking down to the apron to break the draft. So J.J. will have the advantage here into road course turn 1. The top 3 in the GT3 still nose to tail here. Sanders, Gunter, and Engrave, as they were at Monza.
Corey Rutherford's kind of hanging around a little bit here as well with the GT4 leaders.
I think both of the Rutherfords have fancied their chances here tonight. It has not started well for Joshua, unfortunately, but Corey doing a nice job here, keeping in touch with the top 2, like you mentioned.
Behind them, much like in the GT3 class, there's a long line of cars lined up for the 4th spot here in the GT4 class as well. Speaking of Joshua Rutherford, he's going to go by this GT4 battle.
Gavin Sanders wide. Here goes Brody Gunter. Gunter to the lead. Sanders went wide there. Took a wide entry into 1 and then still overdrove it.
Yes,
Gunter actually... sorry, go ahead.
Well, Hunter Engrave's hot on the heels of Sanders here as well. No time to relax.
Gunter had actually been fading a bit from Gavin Sanders that last time around. Engrave was looking to make a move on Gunter, but now Engrave will have to work around Gavin Sanders there, as that is an awkward turn, a transition turn, out from the infield to the oval. It's just super tight hairpin there.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the replay. Oh, yeah, and Sanders loses the front end. That's what gets him out wide. He lost the front end from the transition to the banking down into the road course turn 1.
Engrave and Sanders now underneath Brody Gunter. Gunter cuts off the advance. multiple lanes you can choose to go into turn number 1 in.
Battle for first in the GT3 class. Also, this battle for first in the GT4 class continues. Earl Williams still right here with JJ Wang. Goes wide on the entry down into turn 1.
And Corey Rutherford again, not too far behind Jarrell Williams here. Williams has done a nice job in the oval section of the track, using the draft to stay in touch with JJ Wang. Much like what we're seeing here in the top 3 in the GT4s. Or rather, the GT3s, excuse me. Thirteen and a half minutes to go. No challenge this time into 1.
Yeah, but Sanders, he's getting some good looks at what he has to do to make up that ground.
Jarrell Williams closed up there in a big way to JJ Wang into 1. Rick Thompson leading a long line of GT4s. 4th, 5th, 6th, and I believe 7th. And you know what? Kenny Stepp and his motley crew aren't too far behind either. So really, 4th through 10th, all right here together. As Nate Morris going to have a go here at Kenny Stepp. But up front, Gavin Sanders tucked up right underneath Brody Gunter, and now has a peek to the inside. And Graves sends it around the outside. Status quo maintained, but a slow car there. A little bit of disruption. I think that was Casey Campbell. And he's still having problems getting going here.
Yeah, and Sanders, I mean, would have had an opportunity to force the issue there underneath, but made the smart decision, the high percentage play, and he made sure that they all survived there in turn 1.
Survival is most of the battle, it seems, of late here in ASRL.
There's a good battle between Nick Batista and Rene Garcia. Down into 1.
Sanders again, closing in on Gunter. This time side by side, Sanders looking to the outside, going to try and take the long way around and makes it work.
Wow.
Sanders back to the point.
That was a great move. That's what we talked about. He's had some opportunities to see what works and what doesn't. Decides the bottom's probably not going to work there and has a big run on the outside, and he makes it stick.
Still loose here, and that might open the door here for Brody Gunter, who got good drive off out of the hairpin. Sanders all sorts of wiggly on the back foot here as we head towards the transition hairpin.
Sanders has that inside positioning. Gunter going to try to cross over here.
Went for the out to in. It got him a good run here, and with the draft, he might be able to get this done. It's a long setup here. Exiting oval turn 2, basically until you enter oval turn 1. That is how long you have to sit and think on the move that you're going to make. Sanders going to keep the inside, nearly wheel to wheel. Gunter sends it deep, trying the outside move. Going to make it stick. Gunter back to the lead.
Wow, this is an epic battle for the lead here. Hunter Engrave waiting in the wings for his opportunity as well.
Oh, problems. Rene Garcia and Nick Batista, I think they just pounded doors. I think they're both still moving and in position, though.
Sanders dived down to the bottom there in the hairpin and has a nose out right now, but will be on the outside here. Oh!
Wow. A game of inches.
I don't know if it was inches. It looked like contact to me.
Less than an inch. 0 inches. And look at this. We say nose to tail sometimes sparingly, but this is literally nose to tail. They are almost in a 3-car tandem bump draft here around Kansas. Gunter going to try and stick to the outside. Sanders may get through before they even slow down for the turn. 170 miles an hour. Jockeying for the position, and now Sanders has it back. Another lead change here.
There on the outside, you're able to carry a lot more speed deeper into the corner, but obviously you have a longer way around. So, but I mean, if you're even, it generally works out, but Sanders was able to get a good run and go all the way past Gunter before they got to the left-hander.
It's weird because it's like you're turning straight down the hill. It's helping you slow down and speed up at the same time. Not
Here's
to sleep. Oh, go ahead.
Just going back to Garcia and Batista here, still nose to tail.
Yeah, they've been battling hard.
And with the draft, as big as it is here around Kansas, when we have basically the full oval to work with, it's easy to get stuck with the people that you start the race out around after the first lap is over. It's easy to just kind of get stuck with them for the rest of the race.
A door-to-door contact again into turn number 1. Sanders on the left, Gunter on the right, and Gunter to the point. But it's getting chippy up here, and Sanders thinking about laying the bumper in is sure what it looked like. They had a hard shot there, slowing down into 1.
Why don't we go to the cockpit view of Hunter Engrave? He has the best view of the battle here.
Yeah.
I think he's just waiting for these two to take each other out at this point.
I don't think he's too far away. Patience is what paid off for him at Monza. Made the move with 2 turns to go at the end of the Monza dash race. And while these three are putting on a whale of a show, Kevin Bonomi and Johnny Alford, who have been battling in a similar style with each other, are closing in on these top 3. This could be a 5-car dance before it's all said and done.
Well, not only that, we also have a battle for the GT4 lead right now. Darrell Williams sends it around the outside like we've seen from the GT3 cars. Not quite able to make it stick, but good drive off here.
JJ got a bit hung up there, and Darrell Williams going to make it stick now. Darrell Williams to the lead. He'd been a lot better under braking there into that infield turn-in the last few laps. But JJ had been able to open the gap up through the infield. We'll see now that maybe Darrell's in the lead if the shoe will be on the other foot. Is not too far behind the battle for the GT4 lead. Is the battle for the GT3 lead.
Oh, and a car around here on the inside.
Kenny Step. Phillip VanVleet as well. And we are in GT4 traffic here for the leaders of the GT3. Another wrinkle.
It is heavy in front of them as well. There is a... Oh, my goodness!
Nate Morris into Gavin Sanders. Nate Morris sails it off in there and plows into Gavin Sanders. Brody Gunter and Hunter Engrave are well away. Sanders back to 5th as Bonomi and Alford are through as well.
Wow, that was like an RK out of nowhere. Just took Sanders right out of it.
Holy cow. Corey Rutherford was running 3rd in the GT4s. He had a packet loss disconnection, and he is reconnecting now. But here we go again for the lead now in the GT3s. 1 player short. As, Gunter loose. Engrave, patience might be paying off. Gunter going to get the drive off. But Engrave is here, and so is Kevin Bonomi. Bonomi, a player here for the first time in the battle for the lead.
In the GT4 class,
Engrave to the lead.
JJ Wang has gotten back around Jarrell Williams.
There's so much
there
going
is
on.
Too much to watch here. Look at this scene right now. Unbelievable. There's 6 cars hauling off into this corner.
Engrave leading Bonomi, and now Gunter, and Alford is right here as well. Gavin Sanders a little bit behind this battle now with damage. JJ Wang with a 2-car length advantage over Jarrell Williams, but that will evaporate by the time they get to the first turn. And I'd say next time into turn number 1, GT4 and GT3 battles for the lead will converge, if it even takes that long.
It'll be awful close. Here's entrance to 1. JJ Wang's going to try to cross it over. Wow, look at that move. JJ Wang, that is a professional move right there. Flies by on the inside after going outside to in.
Engrave with the biggest advantage we've seen in a few laps. 2 car lengths. Kevin Bonomi in second. Brody Gunter is right here as well in third. A bit of distance back to Johnny Alford in fourth. More gap between Alford and Sanders, the top 5. JJ Wang and Jarrell Williams still 2 or 3 car lengths separated here in the battle for the GT4 lead.
As the GT3s are coming up on them quickly.
Here they are. It's our favorite point in the race. 3 minutes left to go in the dash. We got a 40-minute feature after this, folks. Engrave coming up on Jarrell Williams. They really are. I got that right on the head. These guys are going to meet right at the turn-in here. Might put Jarrell Williams in a bit of a box. Bonomi loose. Gunter. Wow, threads the needle there to get back to second.
That was a aggressive move, but a nice move there by Gunter to get back up to second.
Gunter has only got this. We're going to be very close to coming back to the white flag here. He knows time is running out.
Wang does a nice job of sticking with that position, but letting those GT3 cars by at the same time. He has a nice little advantage now. Gavin Sanders is well out of this picture now with damage, about 3 seconds behind Johnny Alford.
And I think with about 3 seconds to spare, we come to the line. Going to be awfully close whether or not this is the white flag lap as Gunter and Bonomi battling side by side for second. Oh, contact! Bonomi goes around. The different lines, unfortunately, don't pay off for Bonomi that time. As I'm no steward, I'll wait till I see a replay on that one.
Well, unfortunately, there's so many replays we could watch, but I don't think we'll get to watch any of them.
No.
The way the sessions work.
Unfortunately not. This is going to be a highly replayed volume. It's all said and done here on the channel.
Yeah, if you're
30 seconds. Go ahead.
If you're watching live, you can go ahead and just go back a little bit in the video while we're live here if you'd like to and get a couple of replays.
Going to be right on the number here. Hunter Engrave through oval turn 4. 4 seconds left. This is the white flag.
Not only the white flag, a large margin ahead of Brody Gunter now. Just needs to stay smooth, and Engrave will have the dash race in his grasp.
J.J. Wang a second and a half clear of Jarrell Williams as they're still letting GT3 traffic through. I do believe the Johnny Alford 0x streak is probably over, just a guess. I don't think anybody's getting away from this race unscathed. Well, once the door opened up for Hunter Engrave, he never looked back. Patiently waited, and Hunter Engrave is going to take his third checkered flag in a row here in the ASRL Sports Car Championship. The dash goes to Engrave. J.J. Wang, victory well in hand for him here as well. J.J. Wang out of turn 4, and through the tri-oval, he rights the ship after 2 second places. Last time out at Monza, it's P1 for J.J.
Wow.
Woo-hoo!
That was spicy.
Definitely a spicy meatball. That's some spicy Kansas City barbecue right there.
I was hoping we'd be able to find that Gavin Sanders incident. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to by the time this session switches over. And I think I may have found it. Look, here it is.
Oh, you're going to run out of time?
No! We just got one little last look at it.
Oh, man. And there was an apology from Nate Morris on that one as well, but that was pretty startling contact there. And with that, we will send it in to our mid-evening break. When we come back, we'll have interviews with your GT3 and GT4 race winners here from the Kansas Road Course. Back in a minute.
A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, but don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock myself?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Tonight's coverage of the ASRL Sports Car Championship on Turn 200 is presented by MF Racing Designs, who have provided the 0-0 Challenge. Tonight's presenting sponsor, Lone Dutchman Racing, who have provided the Keep Digging Award and the Pole Award. Mullet Music Productions, who have provided the theme tune to the ASRL Sports Car Championship. And CJR Graphics.
Alrighty, folks, we are back from the mid-race break, and we are here with the GT4 Dash winner, JJ Wang. JJ, that was quite something out there.
Yeah. It was good racing. I knew this track was probably going to throw a curveball to, if you just have pace on somebody, they could probably use a draft to kind of stick behind you. So. Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed fighting with Jero. He gave me plenty of space, fought hard. I don't think we had a single, not even a 0x between us. So that's how I like it.
Yeah, it was a great battle, and one of the key points, obviously, is down there into the turn 1 on the road course. We saw a lot of back and forth between drivers picking the outside and the inside. I saw one of the moves you made. You started on the outside, went out to in, and just blasted by him when he tried to get past you there on the inside. It seemed like that was probably the move to be made throughout the rest of the race.
Yeah, I would think so. I think so. The Aston, just in general, is just more of a momentum car than the other GT4s. So I just prefer, if I'm in the Aston, I just prefer being on the outside because this car just has momentum dialed in really, really well. So if I was in maybe a different car, maybe I would think differently. But I think, don't want to give away too many secrets. But the Aston, I feel like being on the outside just gives you more opportunities for sure.
Most definitely. Was there anybody you want to thank here before we let you go?
Yeah, I'd love to thank Gavin Sanders and Eric Kuntz. They're in the voice chat. Kind of a light grid from the Stowe Raceverse garage today, but appreciate them coming out regardless. And it's a great team to run with. They kind of helped me find some speed, discover some tricks about the car. So yeah, and of course thanks to you guys for the broadcast and for Corey for the series. I never thank him. It's been a real fun sports car league so far.
All right, Part. Well, congratulations again, and good luck here in the big race.
Thanks so much.
And as he makes his way out, we will go in search of your race winner and hot swamp him in here to booth 200. 5th time this season, we get to talk to Hunter Engrave. Welcome back to booth 200. Wow. Nicely done on coming out on top of one of the craziest sequences we've ever seen here on the channel, just in general, not just with sports car racing. But wow, that was quite the gaggle, and you handled it very well. So nice job.
Yeah, thank you. It was a very interesting start. It was a little questionable to make it 3 wide, but yeah, I was just trying to be patient. I was letting Gavin Brody battle. Feel bad for Gavin that got hit by a lap car, but it was just patience basically what it came down to. And then when finally my chance to strike, it striked, and I gotta say thanks to my teammate. He kept keeping me calm, just told me look forward, don't worry.
Yeah, unfortunate that Kevin didn't get as good of a finish as he was running for, but you've got the feature coming up here, so you can right that wrong, or at least he can right that wrong. You went all the way from the back to the front at Monza. Sort of a similar feel to this race here tonight, other than the fact that it's a night race. Track temp is low. How is that sort of affecting this race as the night rolls along?
It's getting very grippy out. I just did spread slaps, and it's getting a lot faster. We're doing almost a second faster than what we did in practice. But yeah, for the main race, it's just going to be patience, take my time. I'm trying to help my team in this race. I really want him to get a win this year. He's been so close. Bad luck with his paddle shifters or racing incidents happen. So my goal is to try to help my teammate get up front in this race.
Well, you've thanked your teammate. Anybody else you want to say hello to here? We've got Pamela in the chat here rooting you on. She's doing a nice job as always.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks to my mom. Thanks to my dad. They both love Rune. They always love to talk about these races. And yeah, thanks to you guys for always doing a magnificent job and everything. You guys always do amazing. And I want to say one more thing, because don't know if I'll be back, but I wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Oh, all right. Well, we hope to see you back. But if not, likewise to you. And hopefully we'll be talking to you again at the end of 40 minutes here. But nice job here in the dash.
Thank you much. Thank you very much.
Alrighty, about a minute and 20 seconds left to go. And to Hunter's point, times have been coming down pretty steadily here. Just in the warm-up session, times are way down of what we had on practice. So, yeah, more of the same, but over 40 minutes with a pit stop in the middle here. Gotta be crazy again.
Yeah, most definitely. I think they're towards the end of that dash race. We kind of saw things spread out a little bit. I think we'll see that again here in the feature race. However, drivers will probably be a little bit less aggressive in the beginning of this one, so that might be an opportunity for those drivers to actually stick closer together for a little bit longer. Nobody's making any crazy moves, so it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out compared to the dash race, where there are no pit stops.
And the other thing to mention there, you talked about things getting spread out, and they very well may, but don't forget, we have a full field invert here for the classes. So everybody that just finished up at the front of the GT3s will have to start at the back of the GT3s, and likewise for the GT4s. GT4s still start behind the GT3s, although they'll grid in front of them and just move out of the way. I think we should have one more with the GT4s start in front. But that's why I'm not running this league, because you need somebody with a smarter noodle than I have. So shout out to Corey Rutherford here for doing a nice job here this season of the ASRL Sports Car Championship. With a schedule like this, we are churning out banger after banger, and here's to one more, as it is grid time for the 40-minute feature here from the Kansas Speedway Road Course. And starting at the front of the grid here for the GT3s should be Casey Campbell. Then he would have Dave Payton to his outside on the front row. Joshua Rutherford may be one to watch out for here with the third place starting position. Jeffrey Oakes to his outside. Alex Halland and Josh Hagee then on the next row. Eric Coons, Kevin Bonomi, Matt Schlosser, Gavin Sanders, Johnny Alford, Brody Gunzer, and Hunter and Gray. The exact invert of how they finished the dash race just a few minutes ago. The GT4 side of things, Corey Rutherford may be the one to watch here, as he had connection issues that cost him an opportunity to finish the GT4 dash race. He starts at the front now, with Fred Thompson to his outside, Nate Morris and Kenny Stepp on the second row, Phillip VanVleet and Daryl Klotz on the next row, Nick Batista, Renee Garcia, Rick Thompson, Jarrell Williams, and JJ Wang. The rest of the starting lineup. JJ, I think, just got back into the session right now. He may have missed the starting grid, which is going to slow down his process a bit, but he was going to have to start at the tail regardless, so maybe just going to keep himself out of trouble here into turn one. Regardless, Matt, you mentioned a couple of things when we were gridding for the 20-minute dash, but why don't we go back over them here for the 40-minute feature and tell the folks how cold it is in Kansas right now.
Well, we'll get to the weather first. Track temperature's gone down another degree as we have somebody spinning out on the gridding session here. Oh, a couple. But the ambient temperature is 66 degrees right now. Let's go back over a couple of things here. There are penalties, and here in the feature race, if things keep getting chippy, we could have a couple of drivers hit them. It's a 14x pass-through penalty. 19x is a disqualification. It's 40 minutes here for the feature race, about 30 laps, maybe 31 since times are going down a little bit. There is one faster pair. You get one set of tires that you can put on when you take your pit stop, and 25 laps is the estimated fuel capacity, so these drivers can go quite a while without coming down pit road if they would like to.
We've seen the overcut work. We've seen the undercut work. We've seen people hitting right on the number. You kind of had to at Monza, but it should be interesting to see what the prevailing strategy is going to be here other than survive. That is a solid strat, and it's one that not a lot of people manage to do in the 20-minute dash. That was Joshua Rutherford, by the way, that had spun out there. Didn't see how it happened, but I think he is getting... he may not be getting his starting spot back here. Not sure. Because he was supposed to be on the front row. Case Campbell was supposed to start on the pole of this race. He is starting from the pits. JJ Wang is disconnected and reconnected again. So certainly a pit road start for him if he can get back into the sim in time.
Joshua Rutherford's in the chat while we're gridding here. Said it was just a lazy spin.
Pace car's off. Control the field belongs to Dave Payton. With the 12 of Alex Allen starting to his outside, we are underway. We barrel towards turn number 1 again.
And you see him fanning out early here.
4 wide.
Wow.
Is that going to work? No. 3 wide. 3 wide.
And Alex Howland got the worst of it. He got caught in the middle, had to slow way down. Oh, big contact!
Big problems there. That was Payton and Coons, I do believe. Schlosser to the lead. Corey Rutherford.
Oh, there's another spin!
Another spin. I think that's Brody Gunter.
It is. That's Brody Gunter.
Oh, and they're crashing into the GT4s all around. There's chaos and carnage galore.
Nick Batista's run into Gunter there in the hairpin.
Matt Schlosser leading the GT3s. Corey Rutherford was the leader, but he is off now. Rutherford has given up the lead to Rene Garcia. Ken Estep, actually. Estep to the lead.
My goodness.
Oh, man. It's a 7/10 of a second lead for Schlosser over Hankey and Bonomi. Estep with a sizable lead right now over Garcia, Williams, and Morris, who are nose to tail, second, third, and fourth.
If we've ever had what I would consider calamity on the channel, I think this first lap has been it.
And never before, and maybe never again. We'll see how this race goes.
Wow. Nearly contact down and near into turn 1.
That's Eric Coons trying to work through GT4 traffic and disrupting a bit. Holy cow. Sorrell Williams has tracked down Ken Estep. But Coons trying to make his way through.
Yeah, Williams directly in front of Coons here as he's trying to make his way through. Lots of cars together here. Alex Howland, Rene Garcia. That Howland's another GT3 car trying to make his way through.
There are going to be quite a few of them after that start.
Brody Gunter, Dave Payton there as well.
Kevin Bonomi's worked his way up to second. Now Gavin Sanders working underneath Josh Hagee for third. But Bonomi has tracked down Matt Schlosser.
Nearly contact between Heggie and Sanders.
Top 4 nose to tail, and it begins again. Look at this move. Sanders trying to go around the outside again. This would put him in a good spot for the transition from the infield to the oval. But Bonomi fends him off, at least for now.
Yeah, Sanders trying to hang out on the inside. He does. Oh, a big send.
Lock up. Schlosser around. Exactly what happened to Sanders last time. This time, Sanders the culprit. And Bonomi on the right side of it this time. Kevin Bonomi to the lead. Josh Hagee through to second. And Hunter Engrave is already right here on the scene.
Wow.
Patience prevailing again. And Jarrell Williams to the lead for the GT4s.
E-Step must have had a problem. E-Step was about 2 or 3 seconds in front of Williams at one point and has now fallen a long, long ways. Already 5 seconds behind Williams, E-Step is.
Engrave up to third, puts Josh Hagee in the rear view.
Actually, I take that back. I don't know why I said that. He's right behind him. Anyways.
The gap did close. It was bigger than that, and it did close. You're right.
It wasn't 5 seconds, but that's neither here nor there.
I don't blame anybody in the broadcast booth being confused about what is happening in a race like this.
Boy, I was
tough to keep track of for sure.
In between these races, I could not have been more wrong about what I said was going to happen here.
Yeah.
I predicted it to be calm here in the early goings, and it has been anything but.
Well, that just means we have a lot of replays to look at.
Oh, we have a bunch.
If we ever get some separation towards the front of the field in either division.
Here's Alfred and Heggie. Alfred going for the outside in here into turn 1. Not quite able to make that work. Garcia continues to almost pummel the back bumper of Ken Estep, trying to get around here into turn 1.
Oh, we've seen some pummeling already. Oh, I almost saw more of it there. But Garcia gets the pass done. Move Renee up to second. As Rick Thompson just went wide into 1, but keeps it out of the grass and will stay in 4th. Thompson had a quiet podium to open things up in the dash race in his first GT4 race, at least this season.
Nate Morris, Phillip VanVleet battling here in the GT4 class as well. Here goes Morris to the inside. Alex Howland and Brody Gunter battling here as well. Howland and Gunter have done a good job of trying to recover from the early incident.
So Gavin Sanders is closing the gap here on Kevin Bonomi. It's about 3 car lengths now. And Sanders, after giving up a look on the lead, wants to get it back. Matt Schlosser, by the way, after the contact with Gavin Sanders, is still running in 6th.
There's the in-car camera, the cockpit view for Sanders, trying to track down Bonomi here. Gonna get a little bit of help with the draft from a GT4 car. Not quite close enough to get the full benefits of the draft with Bonomi.
On our Engrave in 3rd, purple lap of the race, 1:13.16. Wicked fast.
Leaders once again nearing nose to tail as they have been previously.
Equidistant, 0.4 of a second between 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Gap is open between Jarrell Williams and Rene Garcia to a 2.5 seconds. So Jarrell has things in hand, at least for now.
Wow, look at Engrave. Send it way to the outside on the entry there.
Sanders got the big run on Bonomi. Kevin with a block. But Sanders is going to have a good look here. He's taking the outside. He's taking the inside. This time looks like he's going out. Maybe looking for an out to in. Bonomi leaves it open, but Sanders does not get the drive off.
Yeah, a little bit of hesitation, a little bobble there right through the middle of the corner.
Sanders already with 1.4x in this race. They can't afford much more contact or off track as the race rolls along. This is going to be a good opportunity here for Sanders, chomping at the bit. The draft will aid. Sanders has gotten it done in just about every style of entry into turn 1 here. Engrave again being patient as his teammate leads Gavin Sanders. Sanders in deep. Bonomi a shallow entry. Sanders is here. Sanders to the lead. And now Hunter Engrave gets defended by his teammate.
Here's another opportunity, some GT4 traffic in the way here. This is Batista and then J.J. Wang, who ended up having to start from the pits.
JJ in 9th in class. Here's Bonomi. Bonomi didn't move off his line. He should have a little, so had to move around a bit. Bonomi again prefers that. Hugging the inside there, but Sanders, great momentum there off the move from the top. And Sanders opens it up.
Well, it looks like we have an opportunity here. Let's go ahead and look at the replay with the contact between Sanders and Schlosser. So Sanders down on the left. Bonomi's actually on his right-hand side. Schlosser's the car in front of them. And Sanders just absolutely sends it into this turn way too hot. Locks it up, but makes mega contact with Schlosser. Luckily, he's able to continue. We saw him have way more damage with a similar contact in the dash race. Luckily, has been able to not only keep going, but recapture the lead. But now under fire.
Bonomi again with a dive to the inside. Sanders not infallible. That was a great look there from Bonomi. Engrave still in touch here as well. Jarrell Williams has a 2.5 second lead for the GT4s. Ken Eastep is closing in on Rene Garcia. There may be a battle for second momentarily. The traffic again for the GT3 leaders. It didn't work out for them very well last time. or any time here at Kansas.
Yeah. There haven't been many things that have worked out for anybody.
No, certainly not.
But that's what's made it fantastic.
13.5 minutes into the race. Coming to put lap number 12 up on the board. We should be about halfway through the fuel tanks here. And I would say fuel window to the end is open.
Oh, wow.
Boy. Almost. Disaster again. Car off in front. Stays out of the way. Engrave is going to have a run here on Bonomi, who did not get through 2 and 3 very well.
Engrave looked to the inside here. Little bit of contact.
And that is going to cost them here in the grand scheme of things. Now, Hunter just said in his interview he wants to help Bonomi get his first win of the season.
He also doesn't just want to sit back and lose time, though, either.
No, definitely not.
But now, after that contact, it got Engrave super loose. Bonomi was able to get the spot back because of it. And now, over a second gap from them to Sanders.
And they are not catching traffic at a good spot here. Losing time. And maybe have lost too much time.
They're going to have a good run through the road course section here.
And they need to hope as well that they're going to catch GT4 traffic at the right time, and Sanders is not.
Rene Garcia is the GT4 traffic right here. Nearly contact between Garcia and Bonomi.
And I just mentioned that Garcia was about 0.3 of a second behind Ken Estep. That gap is now 3.5 seconds. So something has happened to Garcia here for him to fade away.
And Estep is right here being passed by the overall leader, Sanders. And Darrell Williams, over 6.5 seconds is the gap from first to second in the GT4 class.
Jeffrey Oakes is around in the infield. I'm not sure if he hit anything, though. Running down in 11th. So he will soldier on. Bonomi putting some time on Engrave, but not out of draft range. Johnny Alford running in 4th, starting to open up a bit of a gap on Josh Heggie.
Engrave and Bonomi have gotten close together here again. Sanders has actually extended the lead a bit from when we checked on it last time. Only by a couple tenths of a second, but Bonomi and Engrave not reeling him in for right now.
So no battles right now inside of a second in the GT4s. A couple of drivers battling here in the GT3s. Eric Coons just had a spin, and he has found his way back to Alex Howland here. Well, it'll be a battle for 9th. And Heggie and Alford still somewhat close together, although, again, Alford started to pull away a bit.
Channel debut for Kansas Road Course. I mean, I feel like it needs to make a return at some point.
This one might get a thumbs down from the drivers, but gets a thumbs up from me, that's for sure.
Well,
it's been exciting.
I think we need to convince one of the other leagues to give it a go. Somebody that doesn't know the pain and suffering it's caused for some of our drivers here.
Oh, yeah, go right ahead. Put it on there.
It's fun. The broadcast was awesome.
Yes, it sure was.
I think that's something we can get Ryan Dye to maybe do.
Oh, now you're talking.
We'd have to convince most of the drivers to vote for it, though.
I think so. I think New Hampshire Road Course would make it on the schedule before this, but equally as chaotic. Here comes the race leader.
Yep, race leader Gavin Sanders into pit. Engrave Looks way to the outside here, right up against the wall. Gonna go outside to in. Not quite there right now.
These two were battling hard in the first race of the season,
Whoa.
the dash at the Red Bull Ring when they made contact. They've already made some contact in this race, but Hunter Engrave now to the lead. And some time to make up here on Gavin Sanders, who is the first driver to pit road.
We see that a lot from Sanders. He's either the first or the last. He likes to set his own strategies in stone.
It was lap 15 that he came down to pit, so probably leaving himself about 15 laps on the back end here.
Yeah, it was right near the halfway point here in the race. We are just getting to the 20-minute mark.
See if anybody answers this time. Hunter Engrave bypasses pit road entry. So will Kevin Bonomi. Alford, Hagee, Schlosser have all gone past as well. Have not showed much of Jarrell Williams this race after he took the lead early on. He has an 8.5 second lead. Brody Gunter, Rick Thompson in pit road this time. Again, Rick Thompson. Whoa!
I think that was Eric Coons who, on a transition from apron to oval, nearly went around.
Yeah, Eric's having a tough time here with this race. He's been getting batted around.
Brody Gunter, the second driver, in down pit road there in the GT3 class.
Rick Thompson and Nick Batista now in pit road as well. Rick Thompson again in a GT4 for the first time this season, this week. Fred Thompson now down pit road as well.
Good battle here between VanVleet and Daryl Klotz. Klotz will have the inside positioning here. VanVleet gonna go for the crossover. Makes it work. The move VanVleet up into the top 5 in the GT4 class now.
I wonder how the Mopa Motorsports drivers feel about being in Kansas. So close to Missouri here. And Daryl and Jeffrey both here tonight. And that battle's not over. Daryl's getting a big run here. As Eric Coons and JJ Wang now hit pit road. Hunter Engrave from the lead down pit road. Johnny Alford follows. And Josh Hagee. Top 3 all down the pits. So we're about to see if the undercut has opened up the gap here for Hunter Engrave, who had a pretty easy time of things after Gavin Sanders came to pit. Engrave got the lead on pit strategy at the Red Bull Ring, which would eventually give him the feature victory. Let's see if he could do another one here. Sanders coming out of oval turn 4 right now as Engrave nearing pit exit. It's going to be close, but I think Sanders is going to have the advantage. And
Not by
Bonomi,
much.
no, not by much, and Bonomi sneaks out ahead as well. So Sanders, Bonomi, and Engrave all nose to tail once again. And Josh Hagee not too far behind either.
But you know who did come out in front of Sanders?
Johnny Alford.
Johnny Alford.
Good looking.
Great pit stop there for Alford. Gets him out in front of Sanders. Did not see that one coming.
No, I did not as well. And that's why I was confused looking at my timing. It told me that Johnny Alford had a 29-second lead, and I didn't know how that happened because I knew he had just come down to pit, so I figured it was a glitch. But nope, Johnny Alford looking to cycle out to be the leader. Matt Schlosser is the leader right now. Joshua Rutherford is on pit road right now, but he has picked up a speeding penalty, so he is in there for the long haul.
And Schlosser's somebody I would not be surprised to see stay out on track for quite a while here.
Well, Alford's... actually, that was not Johnny Alford. Alford's still out in front of Gavin Sanders here. They had some slower traffic letting the leaders through. So Alford, Sanders, Bonomi, Engrave, and Hagee all right here together.
Yeah, these 5 cars are all very close here. With the help of the draft, this could really tighten up.
And Joshua Rutherford confirms my report. Speeding in the pits. Matt Schlosser in from the lead.
Has nobody ever told Joshua Rutherford about texting and driving? Or chatting and driving, I guess, in this case?
Nathan Reynolds will have something to say about that. Strap in, folks. We're in for it. Bonomi pulling up on Sanders here. Sanders trying to get back to the lead. Johnny Alford is now the official race leader.
Unfortunately for Hagee, he started to lose the group just a little bit.
I believe we're still awaiting pit stops for Kenny Stepp and Rene Garcia, as Jarrell Williams is back in 4th in the class.
Oh!
There's a look. That's Bonomi.
Yeah, Bonomi.
Engrave right here now as well. Josh Hagee has faded away from this battle, so it's now just the top 4.
Yeah, Hagee got caught up in some of that traffic. Unfortunately, there were about 3 GT4 cars all kind of battling together. And Hagee got caught in the middle of it. Here comes Engrave looking to the outside of Sanders. Sanders going to look to the outside of Bonomi.
Whoa! Big dive here!
Oh!
Nearly contact! Yikes!
That was awfully close. We've seen Bonomi. He likes that inside line and he likes to send it deep.
Everybody sent it deep there except for Johnny Alford. There'll be no 0-0 entry for Johnny Alford here tonight. He's already picked up a 1X at least, and something tells me there may be more contact to come if the drivers behind him here aren't too careful. Look at this. We are 27 and a half minutes into this race, and the top 4 after pit stops all right here together. Kenny Stepp and Rene Garcia have pits. Phillip VanVleet leads the GT4s, but Jarrell Williams should cycle out to be the leader once VanVleet hits pit road.
We're going cockpit view with Hunter Engrave. Has a great look at the 3 in front.
Awkward spot here with a GT4 in the mix. Bonomi not going to get his line. Sanders going to try and thread the needle. He's boxed in.
No!
Here's Sanders around. Tags Batista as well. And from 4, we go down to 2.
Wow, Sanders again gets taken out.
And poor Nick Batista there, minding his own there on the inside. Not a whole he could do. Well, it's not over yet. We have 11 minutes and 15 seconds left to go. But the two drivers who are looking to be in the best shape here are two drivers who have yet to grace victory lane, Johnny Alford and Kevin Bonomi. Hunter Engrave with Josh Hagee on his tail. Gavin Sanders 4 seconds behind this battle for third. As here's Bonomi again to the inside. More GT4 traffic ahead.
Alford trying to fight back. Here's the traffic.
There's Bonomi. Bonomi to the point. Jarrell Williams reassumes the lead now with Phillip VanVleet hitting pit road. This is J.J. Wang. He'll stay to the left here. Hunter Engrave is closing on this duo. Was 4.5 seconds behind, now is 3.8 seconds. Wow.
Wow, indeed.
Just when you think it's over, it's not over.
Yeah, this one's definitely still not over. Under 10 minutes left now. Alford trying to work his way back around Bonomi. Gonna look to the outside.
Sneak to the left, maybe. Bonomi shuts the door. The gap for Jarrell Williams, by the way, has increased from 8.5 before pit stops to 14.5. So GT4 race well in hand. We'll keep our eye on them regardless here as the GT3s continue to battle away, and it's been a revolving door of drivers all through the night in the dash and the feature.
Go ahead and take a quick look here at what happened down into turn one. This was just absolute chaos. Yeah, Batista here on the inside. Sanders trying to work his way around. Bonomi's there. Contact between Bonomi and Sanders gets Sanders loose. Engrave with really nowhere to go. He spins Sanders and Batista. And that is how we got to where we are at now. Alford was in front of Bonomi. Bonomi got around. Now Alford trying to get it back.
Gonna try for the out to in once again. Bonomi, a list to the left, covers it off. Hunter Engrave had been closing up to this battle, now fades again. Bonomi, a bit of a dip into the grass there down that straightaway. And Johnny Alford continues to inch his way forward. Gavin Sanders was running in fifth. He has jumped to the pits. He is going to call it a night.
This battle for the lead is the closest battle on the track. This traffic plays a bit of a role here down the front stretch. Wow, great entry for Alford, but a little bit of a bobble through the middle.
Daryl Klotz is closing in on Corey Rutherford for 8th in the GT4s. We'll keep our eye on that match. Schlosser and Brody Gunter have been battling the last couple laps as well. Gunter is on a quiet but noteworthy comeback here through the field, up into the top 5 now.
Here comes Klotz. Rutherford in front, who had issues early. Started at the front of the field.
It was in the lead and went way wide on the
Whoa!
transition turn, and more problems there as Klotz goes off and around.
Klotz tried to go to the inside, but ended up cutting through the grass and went way wide. Getting down to the last few laps. Getting towards 5 minutes left to go here.
And it is 10:45 on the sim. It just got extra dark around the track. There's a point where you're driving at the nighttime where all of a sudden the cockpit will get very bright for seemingly no reason. It's just the way the sun works, the lighting system, I don't really know. But we just hit that point. Look at me trying to mansplain the sun here on the channel.
The fake sun, nonetheless.
Yes. I mentioned Matt Schlosser and Brody Gunter battling. I think Gunter just had an off track, and Schlosser has gotten back into the top 5. Kevin Bonomi continuing to maintain about a 7/10 of a second advantage over Johnny Alford. Hunter Engrave is closing in for realsies this time. He is 2.5 seconds behind. He was 4.
In the GT4 class, Rene Garcia starting to close in on Rick Thompson for 3rd. Behind them, JJ Wang sits in 5th, and that is a great drive to get to 5th after having to start from the pits. Had some connection issues right as we were gridding and wasn't able to actually start the race from the grid. Was a lap down early.
Time is running out. 3 minutes and 10 seconds left. Should be out 2 more laps. Bonomi in some lap traffic here. But continuing to open up the advantage over Johnny Alford. About to have his hands full with Hunter Engrave. Engrave going to dive to the inside. This is Jarrell Williams in front of them. He has a comfortable lead in the GT4s, and I think he wants to keep it that way. May just try and stay out of harm's way as they battle for second. Engrave to P2. Oh, Rene Garcia has gone around.
Wow, that's too bad.
I don't think Rene has lost the 4th position, though. Lost 3rd to Rick Thompson.
Here's the... Oh, and there was some contact with the lap car there. There were a lot of cars converging all at the same time. Wow. Close battle here between Engrave and Alford still.
Yeah, if you thought maybe Engrave was going to get on the horse here and track down Kevin Bonomi, we're not done yet with the Alford battle. And they'll be coming to the white flag this time. So a lap and a half to go. Kevin Bonomi to try and hang on to this lead. But he's pulling away.
In the first half of this race, we talked about Engrave, said that he wanted Bonomi to get a win. Just when we thought it was going to disappear, after pit stops, we have more contact, and all of a sudden, Kevin Bonomi is out front again.
Well, even before the pit stops, I mean, it looked like the towel was getting thrown in. Gavin Sanders was pulling away some crafty pit strategy from the PBR boys, get them back in contention. And they are looking for a top 2 lockout here. White flag. Bonomi in search of the first win of the season. Engrave trying to fend off Johnny Alford. And Jarrell Williams with a comfortable 17-second lead over Ken Estep, who's going to have a battle here on the final lap with Rick Thompson. Oh, big send here from Alford. Plays nice, though. Engrave will hang on to second. Alford will make another run at it. Here's my suggestion to Corey Rutherford and Rick Thompson. Kansas road course every week next season. Let's make it happen. One driver that may not be complaining about that move is the driver who will be heading to victory lane for the first time with the ASRL Sports Car Championship. Kevin Bonomi is a winner. His teammate Hunter Engrave will finish in second. Johnny Alford rounds out the podium. And behind them, coming through the tri-oval now, it is a second victory on the season for Jarrell Williams in the GT4s. Ken Estep with some separation now back to Rick Thompson. It'll be Ken Estep in his battle for the championship with Jarrell Williams, who will finish one spot behind his adversary, but Ken Estep a second place here in the feature. Rick Thompson, a second, third place finish to open up his GT4 season here tonight. And that, my friends, was Kansas Road Course.
I think that's what I would call epic.
I need a cigarette. Certainly an epic race. Epic battling. That'll be on a lot of highlight reels. For sure.
Here's Engrave right alongside, along with Johnny Alford, to congratulate Kevin Bonomi on the race win.
Love the formation. The podium 3 wide through the tri-oval. And Engrave and Bonomi, teammates. Adversaries at times here tonight. But they are going to work together here to burn it down in Kansas. Or maybe not. Well, regardless, it's time for your full finishing rundown here. We'll start, of course, with the GT3s. Kevin Bonomi with the win. Hunter Engrave in second. We'll talk to these gentlemen momentarily. Johnny Alford, Josh Hagee, and Matt Schlosser, the top 5. Brody Gunter, good comeback, all things considered. Will finish in 6th. Alex Howland in 7th. Joshua Rutherford, Jeffrey Oakes, Dave Payton, Gavin Sanders, Eric Coons, and Casey Campbell through the 24th position. As Jarrell Williams giving us a show here as well. He takes his second victory of the season. Ken Estep in second, Rick Thompson in third. It's a really concentric circles. Is that the right term for that? That was really mesmerizing to watch there. Nice job. We'll talk to Jarrell and Ken here momentarily as well. Rene Garcia, JJ Wang, the top 5. Phillip VanVleet in 6th. Nate Morris in 7th. Nick Batista, Corey Rutherford, Daryl Klotz, and Fred Thompson, the rest of the finishing order there. It's about as neat of a burnout as we've ever seen here on the channel, I think, anyway. But let's go in search of your second place finisher. I think it'll be his second Booth 200 appearance this season, but his first as a podium finisher. Ken Estep, runner-up here tonight for the GT4s. Nice job. Welcome back up to Booth 200 here. How are we doing?
We're doing great and happy to be up here. Thanks for the invite.
Absolutely. It was a nice work here tonight. A lot of great battling with you going on throughout that race. Holding off Renee, holding off Rick Thompson. A challenging and chaotic race here tonight, all things considered. It's got to feel pretty good to come out with a podium.
It does. Yeah, it's all about consistency. And so I know a lot of these guys are so much faster than I am. Renee is one of those, and Rick is good to see him in this class. And Nick, yeah, so I'm always battling with the guys, and that's why I'm actually very happy to be up there. For the first time, previous seasons, I haven't been able to, so it's great to compete.
Matt, what do you got here?
Yeah, congrats on that second place finish. Seemed like kind of a survive in advance vibe here tonight around the Kansas road course. How was it from your view?
I absolutely think it was that, especially that one series of crashes where put me up in front. So yeah, and then it's really just holding it in the turns, being safe as you get through, and letting the GT3s go by. And this was a wonderful course for that. So much easier than any of the others.
Well, this championship battle has sort of landed in you and Jarrell's lap with Dalton Kilrow not being here the last few weeks. Next couple of weeks, Lime Rock Park, the Nürburgring. How are we feeling about those races here?
Excited about Lime Rock, and if Nuremberg is combined, I'm a little. We'll see how that one goes.
I think about everybody's going to be in that boat there as well. That's a sadistic championship race. But nice job here tonight. Is there anybody you want to shout out or say hello to here?
I definitely need to do a shout out to my teammate Johnny Alford, because it's really been fun running as a team this league. Certainly, you guys for all you do for us, ASRL for the racing, and all the drivers. Really, it's so much fun to be in a competitive mode. Previously, you would have said I was less than rookie, so I'm very happy to be in the amateur class and competing.
Well, nice job here tonight, and here's hoping for a couple more to wind out the season. But great job, and go party down. We'll talk to you again next week at Lime Rock.
Thanks, buddy. You too. Have fun out there.
Now we'll bring in your GT4 race winner for the second time season. It's Jarrell Williams back in booth 200. Nice job here tonight, partner. Congrats on the win.
Thanks. Yeah, it was a scary race for sure. Lap one was very intense, to say the least.
I was going to say, once you found your way to the lead, things looked pretty calm-ish. But yeah, it was not an easy race to get there at all. That was as much of a minefield as we've ever had here on the channel. I think in any race, in any with any car, that was a wild one for sure.
Yeah, I kind of felt like a spectator for a lot of it, and it was definitely fun to watch.
An out-of-body experience here with the ASRL. You always like to have that in the sim. Matt, what do you got here?
Well, congrats on the race win, Jarrell. I do want to go back actually to the dash race because we didn't get to talk to you. You had a great battle there with JJ Wang. How fun was that trying to play a chess match into turn one there with him?
Oh, yeah, that was nerve-wracking. Like, I know it was scary for him, and that's the reason I did it, but it was definitely scary for me, too.
Well, the second place consecutive streak this time stops at 1, and we're happy for that. We're happy to get you back up here on the top step in a race where there was so much uncertainty. The only thing that was certain was you leading the GT4s pretty comfortably there at the end of the race. So nice job here tonight. Anybody you want to shout out or say hello to here?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out JJ Wang's internet provider for giving me the win. And other than that, just the usuals. My buddy Alex, who's been hanging in there in the GT3, and my buddy Corey, who's watching, and then my girlfriend for being supportive.
Oh, JJ will get a kick out of that too. Nice job here. Oh, before we let you go, I guess you are the points leader. 2 races left to go. How are we feeling about Lime Rock and the Nürburgring to close out the season?
Lime Rock is one of my favorite tracks to tune the car on, so I'm pretty familiar with that track. And Nürburgring, even though it's difficult, it is my favorite track to drive, so I'm excited about these next 2.
Well, at least somebody has some confidence going into the Nürburgring. You may be one of just a few, but excited to see how it plays out for you, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again here soon. Nice job here today.
Thank you.
Alrighty, we'll go in search now of your runner-up finisher from the GT3s. and he's the driver that won the feature race in the GT3. And if I can figure out what I'm doing here, we'll pull in Hunter Engrave for the second time here tonight. Runner-up, though, in the feature, and a hard-fought one at that there towards the end of the race. Nice job here.
Thank you.
Yeah, another chaotic one, another crazy one, another wild one. I will say, before the pit stops there, it was maybe looking a little bit bleak for both you and Kevin, as Gavin Sanders was driving away. But the overcut seems to work here for you guys here tonight. Was that the plan going in?
There really was no plan. It was just we were gonna try to run the tanks to almost empty. And when Gavin pit, we tried to switch because the Mercedes was faster in the straight, so we were going to try to give Kevin the tow down the straight, and it worked fairly well. Me and him must have forgot to uncheck tires or something because the car went up on the jack and changed like a tire or two.
Oh.
So that's how I think it was Josh Hagee or something like that, the Porsche that got in front of me and Gavin, because I think Gavin took tires as well. So that was kind of newsflash to me, but it came good. It turned out very good.
Matt, what do you got here?
Well, congrats on the second place. Quite a few incidents out there. Even right at the very beginning of the race, it was a bit of a minefield. How do you navigate that? While still trying to go fast, but obviously keep the car in one piece.
Just a lot of luck. That's all it really is in these wrecks. You can't really predict where somebody's gonna wreck or anything. It's just kind of luck and just hope that they hold their brake and not come back across the track.
Well, I shout outs again for you. I guess we just had him for the race win, but always nice to get him twice in a night.
Oh yes, you guys always do absolutely amazing in these broadcasts. Always keep it up. You guys are always the best at it. My mom, my dad again, and then Kevin for finally getting his first win. So proud of him. So very good for him.
Well, we're excited to get to talk to him here in just a second, but go celebrate your first and second here tonight, and hopefully we'll talk to you again here soon.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Let's bring up that first-time race winner. Kevin Bonomi has got it done here tonight in spectacular fashion at the Kansas Road Course. Congrats on your first win with the ASRL partner. Nice job.
Thank you very much. It was a hard-fought race, but it was really fun in the end.
I mean, you and Gavin and Hunter mixing it up there at the front before the pit stops was a lot of fun. And then all of a sudden, Gavin seems to pull a gap on you before he comes down to pit. And then the overcut sort of works in your favor there. I know Hunter had discussed a little bit of strategy of trying to run it out and use your straight line advantage there. And then immediately once you come out of the pits, you're in a 5-car battle. So, I mean, it never really let up until towards the end of the race there. That just that had to be as taxing of a race as you've ever experienced.
Yeah, it was very taxing. The winning component was honestly the teamwork with the draft, because that Mercedes alone is so fast on the straight with no draft. I am just keeping up with the slipstream. I'm not catching, I'm just keeping up. So that was key for making sure I got in time for the pit stop, and we were hoping to get in front of Gavin for the pit stop, but ended up just behind him and just behind a bunch of traffic. So it was good fun.
Different lines that you could take there into the first turn into the road course. Gavin liked to swing out wide. You like the really shallow entry there, and it's one that it makes me a little bit nervous every time I see you going in there side by side. But talk about the advantages there of keeping it to the inside.
Well, I think the Porsche just had a bit more grip when it came to that racing line. There's no real advantages because I was watching the replay. When they come out wide, they have a better run because their car is straighter. But when I keep it in, I have an advantage for overtaking and keeping my position. So in race conditions, it's, in my opinion, the better line, especially for holding position. But it was a bit scuffed, to say the least. I had a unique line, and I don't know if that was great or not.
Matt, what do you got here for the race winner?
Well, just a huge congratulations. Tommy kind of took my question there, so just a big congratulations for you. And let us know who you'd like to thank from the top spot of the box here tonight.
I just got to thank my family, my brothers, as always, and my wonderful teammate, Hunter, that put an absolutely amazing performance, good strategy calls, and good team play. I know I hit him on the hairpin a little bit when we were trying to catch Gavin, but we won in the end.
You still owed him one from the Red Bull ring, I think it was, when he took you out there. So,
yeah, that's true.
There you go. So the score is settled. It's man, you've been running really well here this season. I'm glad we get to talk to you, and you're starting to run pretty well on Monday nights as well. So exciting times here for the mononym Bonomi. Finally gets the win here tonight. Congratulations, man.
Thank you so much.
Alrighty. That's gonna put a nice little bow on what was one of the nights here on turn 200. This was a spectacle beyond all belief. I was expecting tonight to be good. Tonight was watching two train cars crash into each other at full speed going opposite directions. So
repeatedly, might I add.
Repeatedly, yes. As much fun as we've had here, close to Monza, with the ASRL Sports Car Championship on turn 200. That's my thoughts anyway. Anything you want to say to sum up this night?
No, it was just fantastic. I mean, these guys do such a good job. No matter what track we go to, we've seen so many great races from these guys and gals. But yeah, this one was a particular kind of special, and it was right up our alley. So thanks to the Travers for putting on a show for us here tonight. And thank you to anybody else that was out there watching here tonight. We have Pamela Engrave, Chelsea Griffin, and Joshua Rutherford in the chat who has confirmed that he was not actually texting and driving. So that's always good. But thank you guys for chatting with us, and thanks to anybody else who's watching and will watch here after it's over. This is a good one. I think we're gonna have maybe you need to watch it twice because there's a lot to unpack here. But yeah, just thanks to everybody.
Absolutely. We'll be back in action tomorrow night. Championship night tomorrow for Maximum Velocity Racing League at Las Vegas. It is Schulte versus Crowder in the championship welterweight bout of the century. Then Friday night, we have just announced we are going to have 2 meme races on Friday night to close out the points-paying season for 2023 in the Turn 200 Championship. Then Sunday afternoon, it is Championship Sunday once again. For the Mission Art Challenge. It is Fertini versus our good buddy JJ Wang, who walked away with the GT4 Dash win here tonight. And then on Monday, it is Formula Super Series from Mount Panorama, Bathurst, with the Super Formulas. If you thought tonight was a bit messy, a bit choppy, if you will, be here on Monday. That's all I've got to say about that. And likewise for Tuesday, it's the Venom Truck Series from Bristol. And Matt will be back here, and so will Matt, for next Wednesday's race from Lime Rock Park, the classic layout. So that is what we've got in store for you here the next 7 days on Turn 200. A lot of goodies for you, for anybody who is subscribed to the channel. If you're not subscribed on your way out on the stream here tonight, if you would hit that sub button, it would be greatly appreciated by Matt and myself. And thank you all very much for coming and hanging out with us here tonight. Thank you to the partners of the American Sim Racing League, DN Transportation, Lone Dutchman Racing, CJR Graphics, Mullet Music Productions, and MF Racing Designs. Thank you all very much for your support of the ASRL Sports Car Championship. That is all we've got for you here tonight. Until we meet again, everybody with the ASRL, for the GOAT, the one and only Mr. Matt Williamson, I'm Tommy Cook. Until we meet again, we say so long from Kansas Speedway Road Course, where Kevin Bonomi, Hunter Engrave, J.J. Wang, and Jarrell Williams are your winners here tonight in a crazy night of racing. Have a good night, everybody.